Top of the morning to you, Combat Corner. My name is Kobe,
I'm Jackson.
and let's get going. Today we've got a fight card to break down, the one from the weekend. That is obviously, it was a pretty fun fight card. You did some pretty good predicting. Just point that out.
Yeah, I was pretty onto it, bar the main event, but
That was a tough one.
that was a tough one to call.
Not for
And
me though.
it was tough to watch too.
It was, but we'll get into that later. I guess.
It's always hard to see a hero go down
It
like
is.
that. What else we got? We've got a bit of a couple of call outs from Jim Miller to discuss.
Miller. He did some stuff. Great fight from him. There's been some leaked messages from Dana White about Jon Jones. And you know what? We've got a bit of a fancy ass drink today. I'll talk about that once we break into it. But yeah,
Very bougie looking.
Something. Very bougie.
Do we start the podcast?
Let's get into it.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Combat Corner.
All right.
Go.
Clank.
Clink.
Clinkety clank.
So the drink we have today, you might see there's a tea bag in here, in this red colored drink in a goblet. This is diet lemonade, 0 sugar lemonade, and a blood orange tea bag. This has been my drink of choice. This is the official bottle of it. What we got from the supermarket. This has been my drink of choice for a while because it's 0 sugar and it tastes really nice. It's a nice little treat.
It does taste really nice. It's very strange though. I would have never put a tea bag in some lemonade.
I know.
Where did you find this little concoction?
So my mum actually told me about this. Cool little idea because usually I would have like lemonade, diet lemonade, and like cordial, but often cordial is full of other shit and sugar, and even the diet cordials can be quite like full of crap, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of that, it's not as strong tasting, but I'll just add like a flavored tea bag. No caffeine. You don't have to worry about that. But you know, if you're trying to be a bit more healthy, on the healthy side, and you're craving something sweet, or you may be into a carbonated drink or fizzy drink, give this a try.
It's very nice.
Tastes very lovely.
It's very nice. It isn't one of our kind of traditional things that you would get from a shop or a supermarket or something like that. But it's something you can make for yourself at home while you listen to your favorite podcast.
Exactly, and it's cheap. These bottles of lemonade, if you're in New Zealand, these cost fucking like what?
$1.
$2. Yeah. So these are $1, and then the tea bags you can get a box of them for like $5 or like less. So you're looking at maybe an average of about 50 cents a cup.
Wow.
Value,
right?
Value.
Health. That's what we're all about here.
What we're all about, and like I say, you know, we're not here to just review the same kind of thing over and over again. We're here to review wacky stuff, different stuff, unique things.
And because no one's recommended us anything, we've got to just keep making it up on our own.
You know what? I'll say it at the start because I'm pretty sure people stop listening at about 5 minutes. So, guys, first of all, listen to the whole thing, please. That would really help us. And second of all, I'm going to say it now so you're still here when we're doing it. Recommend us some drinks to try. On Monday, we try a non-alcoholic beverage. On Saturday, we try an alcoholic beverage. You know, do your worst. It's refreshing, isn't it?
It's very refreshing.
It's good. Makes you want to wee.
Does it? That could be problematic.
All drinks do, I guess.
That could be problematic. We had UFC Fight Night Vegas 84 over the weekend. Johnny Walker versus Magomed Ankalaev.
Yep, that was the one.
Along with, a few other fights there.
Let me pull up the card just to refresh everyone's memory there.
What a fun little event.
It was a cool first event to have back. Give us some fights back in this 2024 year that we're in.
Yeah. We had a showing from 2 veterans, and when I say veterans, I mean like could have been like World War II veterans with how old they are.
Especially their combined age.
Yeah.
Combined age, they're fighting in Germany.
Yeah. So that was pretty cool. Unfortunately, Arlovsky didn't quite get it done.
No, that was a weird one.
That was a hard fight to watch. Just, but for Waldo Cortez Acosta, but yeah, just cringe.
Pretty cringe. Yeah.
It was like, dude, you're out there fighting a legend, someone who's been in the UFC since what was it, 2000?
2000, I think. Yeah, that was his first fight was in 2000. Yeah.
So 24 years in the organization.
That's good math.
Hey,
that's good maths.
Well, it's pretty simple maths, but well, what I'm just saying is like 24 years in the organization, and this guy's going out there and taunting him through the whole third round like a wanker.
This guy was 8 when Arlovsky first fought in the UFC.
Yeah, like have some respect
for sure. But saying that, Jim Miller got it done. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was awesome.
You know, Jimmy, him. People have been calling him Miller because he is him.
Timothy.
He even got the finish, which was awesome. He looks so quick and good. Like he looks like a fucking world beater.
I don't think he looks like a world beater, but he did. Dude, he definitely did look good.
I want to see him fight.
Yeah, Jim Miller is next in line for the belt now.
Please. We'll start off at the top, as is our custom for the deep dive. Magomed Ankalaev versus Johnny Walker. I think we were both pretty disappointed with the result.
Yeah, well, you had the call there.
I did. Was slightly. I said submission in 2 or 3, but I kind of did think it could be a TKO as well. He's got fucking good hands, as we mentioned in the last show. Like, and he's proving that he is the real deal. Like, he is the guy. Like we mentioned earlier as well. So well rounded. We thought that he was going to grapple.
He didn't shoot once.
Didn't even try.
I was waiting for it.
Yeah.
I was like, sitting there watching it with my brother. I was like, watch this. This guy will try and take him down. Like, as soon as he gets clipped. And no, he just stood there and traded with him.
Yeah. No, it was crazy. And especially boxing wise, he looked better than Walker. Walker like tried a couple things. He was a bit he put a bit of flair to his throws. But at the end of the day, it was just fundamentals that beat him, and Walker was caught kind of like in a bad position. He was a little bit off balance, and he got clipped hard. And he did a Johnny Walker. It was a weird knockout. Not as weird as we've seen before, but it was a weird one.
Yeah.
He ended up like covering his face, which I thought was a bit odd. Maybe he broke his nose or something.
Yeah, I think that is actually quite a common like human reaction.
Yeah, I suppose, right.
A
bit funny.
So yeah, his chin, as we said before this fight, isn't in the best place.
No. And especially against light heavyweights.
That's right, yeah. So, well, he's not going down a weight class.
Well, he was talking about lightweight next.
Was he?
So,
be the first 6'6" lightweight to compete in it. In
he
the
would.
UFC,
He
I'd
would.
say.
You know, there's a basketballer who's 170 pounds and he's 6'7". Imagine he fought in the UFC.
Is it Bowl? Is that his name?
I'm not sure.
Bowl.
I saw a picture of him on Instagram.
Is he quite a tall, slender, dark man?
Yeah. If he's 6'7" and he's 170 pounds.
Oh, 6'7"?
Yeah, 6'7".
Oh, that's not that tall for the NBA.
Yeah, but he's 170
Okay,
pounds.
I'm thinking of someone else then.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Anyway, we're not here to talk about basketball.
Lightweight.
Are people here to listen to basketball?
No. But I saw a meme, and it was like, imagine this would be the weirdest lightweight in the UFC. 6'7".
Oh yeah,
taller than like Jon Jones, and he's fucking in lightweight. Be pretty funny to watch. Khabib would still win.
I don't think Jon Jones is that tall.
He's 6'4".
Oh, is he? Oh, okay, well yeah. I guess that's fairly tall.
I think Volkov is 6'7".
He was. Righto. Anyway,
crazy.
Who do you see? I'm going to say Johnny Walker first because I think there's a little bit more of a discussion to be had around Ankalaev. But who do you see Johnny Walker going up against next?
Should we pull up the?
I think we should.
Rankings? You can do your weather report now if you'd like.
Weather has been shit today, guys. We are now in the middle of summer, and we had, I think, a 14 or 15 degree day full of showers.
Yeah, some real big rain as well.
Yeah, some heavy rain, which is very confusing considering we had a 28 degree day yesterday.
Yeah.
And a 28 degree day the day before that.
Yeah, and Thursday was like 32.
Thursday with 30. But today it's just pissing down. Tomorrow I think it's
15.
supposed to be warm again.
Yeah, tomorrow's supposed to be good. It's in the weekend, next weekend, I think Friday, Saturday, and Sunday are all supposed to be above 30.
This weather is like quite
weird.
literally giving me a headache. You know,
Yeah.
the chopping and changing between hot and cold, it's too much.
It's a strange place to live. Like the weather can just change on an instant as well. Like we could be having like a 20-degree morning or like a 15-degree morning, and then by 7 o'clock it's 35 degrees. It's pretty weird. It's a weird place. It's a good place. I like Christchurch.
Come check it out.
But weather report done. Let's have a look at the let's tell Dana what he needs to do. Yeah, same. Bloody, it's tough, isn't it?
Right.
Here's
light,
the light heavies.
weight. So Johnny Walker was sitting in 7th.
Yeah, he's 7. I'd say he's got to fight down. He's got to fight down now.
Yeah.
He's had his chance to jump into the top 3.
Who did he fight before Ankalaev?
He beat Anthony Smith
That's right.
by decision. He also beat Ryan Spann, knocked him out, and he also beat Paul Craig, knocked him out.
So he's on a good, decent little run there.
Yeah, he was.
But all guys outside of the top 10, apart
Correct.
from Anthony Smith, who is ranked 10.
Yeah, and Ryan Spann is 11. So I think we drop him back down to below top 10. Volkan Ozdemir would be a fun one if he's still
Dominic
keen.
Reyes is booked, isn't he?
Yeah, Reyes is booked. Let's have a wee peek at Ozdemir and just see how. I can't remember how active he's been, because I wouldn't want to give him to Johnny Walker if he's not been active. You know, that just seems a bit unfair. Who was this?
Who's this fella?
Yeah, I want him to fight. I reckon this guy should fight Johnny Walker. I'd love to see that guy again.
Mahmoud.
Hopefully he's not like the queen of Germany or something.
Mahmoud.
How do I spell Ozdemir?
So, while Kobe gets through his
Here we are.
technical difficulties. All right.
So Volkan Ozdemir, let's have a peek at how active he has been. His last fight was September 2023. So he fought recently and he got a submission. Johnny Walker versus Ozdemir. What do you think about that?
I think that's a good fight.
Yeah.
Where's he ranked, sorry, currently?
He's ranked number 9.
Okay. Yeah.
So, you know, he's above people that Johnny has already beaten in Spann and Smith. I don't think we need to see those rematches.
No.
But he's 1-1. You know. Ooh, what about Roundtree? Oh, he's already beaten Roundtree.
Mm-hmm.
Beat him in his debut.
Mm-hmm.
That could be an interesting rematch.
It could be, but what does it answer? I mean, if I were Roundtree, I wouldn't want that fight. Where does that propel him to? Do you know what I mean?
True.
If I were Roundtree, I'd be looking a little bit further up the order than Johnny Walker. And I don't think if I were Johnny Walker, I'd want to come off that knockout loss from Ankalaev and go right in there against one of the hardest hitters in the division.
Yeah, I think you're right. Roundtree.
I think I am too.
You're always bloody right, aren't you?
That happens.
Yeah, no. He's never left. But yeah. So Roundtree deserves someone within the top 5. I think we can both agree on that.
We're talking about Roundtree now.
Roundtree. So we'll cut that out. That's Dana. Cut that out. That's not happening. Volkan Ozdemir, give him to Johnny Walker. Any other ideas there? Manfield just got to win.
Maybe the winner of Reyes and
True.
Olberg.
That would be good. That's a good point. Very good point.
Because that's coming up soon, isn't it?
Yes, it got rescheduled. It's now the main event of I think a Vegas fight night or Atlanta. I think Atlanta rings a bell.
Just because I like, well, it's going to be Olberg. Yeah, so I think Olberg versus Johnny Walker is a really exciting matchup.
It is. Oh yeah, that gives Olberg a chance to make a name for himself, proper name for himself in the UFC
definitely.
as well. And he will deserve something like that, like a top 10 guy if he beats someone like Dominic Reyes.
In dramatic fashion, which he is going to do. I'm calling it.
And also Johnny Walker does need some time off, so he can wait for the winner of that one.
Yep.
Another shout would be Alonzo Manfield, who recently got a win against Dustin Jacoby. He looked pretty impressive, although he kind of got outpointed, but he's got heavy hands, a little bit of a chin.
Just a little chin.
Just a little bit of a chin. he's human after all. He's only human after all.
Ankalaev.
So we've figured that out.
So yeah, that's what we want for Johnny Walker. Ankalaev, however, is rightfully calling for a shot at the belt. I mean, fair enough.
He does deserve it.
But the thing is if he wants that shot, he is going to have to wait at least, I'm going to say, till the end of this year. Just because Jamal Hill is when he steps back, he is going to step right in there against Alex Pereira.
How long is he out for, though?
Jamal Hill? I don't think it's too much longer.
Because we've been talking about it, and there's been a lot of chat on the social medias that it could potentially be him versus Pereira for the belt at 300.
Mm-hmm.
Is he fit for 300? Do we know that? Is that confirmed?
I don't know him that well.
Do you know?
I was better friends with his brother, to be honest. So we're kind of going through a bit of a rough patch.
Right, good point. Fair enough. Well, should we look that up? I'm kind of interested on that because if he is out and Alex is looking for a fight at 300, he didn't take much damage.
That's true.
And
for those of you who don't know, just while Kobe brings this up, Alex Pereira the other day, I can't remember if it was just an Instagram post or something on his story, was talking about how he will soon be speaking English, which is exciting.
Wow.
He was saying that he is a bit insecure about his English speaking at the moment, but
he'll be a star more.
Yeah. It sounds like he's about to make that jump, which is exciting. Just another example of why this guy is, just a great addition to the UFC.
Oh god, yeah, he's been the best since he
he had 3 fights before he fought for the belt in the UFC, or 3 or 4 fights before he fought for the belt, and since then he's just had title fights apart from that one against Jan.
I think he had 3. Yeah, you're right. No, exactly. He's only fought killers. Former champions.
It's got to be one. Yeah. So no. Yeah. That's right. He's only fought former champions since he fought Izzy.
Yeah.
Or even you could say since he fought Sean Strickland, he has only fought champions.
Exactly.
I mean, Sean wasn't a champion at the time, but
he's a top talent, and he's a great personality. If he learns a bit of English,
in my opinion,
speaking that Brizenglish.
In my opinion, one of the top 3 combat sports athletes of all time.
Yeah, honestly,
just in what he's managed to do in each sport.
If he can, especially if he can hold this belt for a bit, and if he wins the heavyweight strap, if that does happen, I know it's a bit of hearsay for now. If that happened, it's pretty hard to say he's not.
Yeah, but anyway, back to what I was saying. He said that we will have some fight announcements to do with him the next hopefully a few days.
Yeah. So Hill's injury apparently, this article was written in November. It says around 6 months from then. So that would line up for April when 300 will be. But saying that's pretty close to when that would line up. So maybe it wouldn't seem like he'd be back shape, training. Yeah. So that's a tough one to say that it will be Hill. I think it's just a bit too early for Hill. So, you never know. When did he say that on his Instagram? Because
I think it was 2 days ago.
Right. Maybe Ankalaev, it could be. Could be Ankalaev,
Yeah.
If that doesn't come to fruition, if he doesn't end up fighting for the belt next, which he does deserve, who else do we think the guy should fight?
Pereira?
Ankalaev.
Ankalaev?
Yeah.
I don't think he should fight Yuri.
No. Well, Yuri's booked as well.
Oh, is he?
Yuri Prochazka.
Oh, we've talked about that, haven't we?
He's booked against Rakic.
Right.
At 300.
You're correct. Is there anyone else that he can fight? We've got
Jan again, maybe, but that's
no
tough sell.
If he's smart, he's not going to fight Jan.
He deserves a title shot, basically. He should fight the winner of Hill Pereira, or he should just fight Pereira if he's got time before that Hill match.
So yeah, like I said, I think if he wants to get the best fight possible for him, it's not going to be an immediate turnaround unless he's fighting Alex Pereira
for the belt.
For the belt next before Jamal Hill.
Yeah, I fully agree with that. He deserves it. The man has deserved. Well, he got one title shot, but he's deserved another one since then. He's been, perennial top 5 for a very long time. He's knocked off many top guys.
The only problem with
well-rounded
with sitting back and doing something like that and waiting for a title shot is then you get, just say, hypothetically, Alexander Rakic goes in there and clips Yuri in the first round, knocks him out like a crazy first round knockout. Boom. Next thing you know, he's the next guy, because it is based on who's active and
recency bias. There's a lot of recency bias.
That's the problem with MMA, and so I mean, it's a hard situation for him to be in. But I think that's what he needs to do. He's been a bit shat on recently. He's not been a lucky fighter in the UFC, right? No.
He had that fight with what's his name? He just popped to his profile. He had that fight with Kutabella. So do you remember this fight?
No.
So basically what happened is he rocked, well, it looked like he rocked him very early in the first round. Kutabella was playing chicken a little bit, like acting rocked.
Right.
He hit him again a couple times, and the ref stepped in, and Kutabella was completely fine. He was just acting like he was rocked.
Right.
So it was a big controversy. They got booked again. He knocked Kutabella out clean. Then he obviously fought 4 more times since then, won every single one of them convincingly. Fought Jan. It was a draw for the belt. Crazy as. Johnny Walker, no contest, because he kneed him in the head. Like, he's not been lucky. I mean, that last one was his fault.
Yeah. And I'm going to say, like, the Jan Blachowicz fight, both of those guys
deserve to win.
No. Both of those guys, neither of them deserve to win, in my opinion. Those last 2 rounds, they went out there and they didn't give it everything.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That was a silly statement by me.
It was a poor showing of a championship fight. Hence why they both got thrown back to the dogs of the light heavyweight division, while Jahamal and Glover. That's what we do here. And
we
Glover,
say names wrong here.
And Glover stepped up
we're from different
to take that title fight. In which case, it's been well over a year now since that, isn't it?
Oh, hell yeah. That was December 10, 2022.
Yeah.
That was like a year and... but yeah, pretty much a year. Yeah,
so
just over a year. Craziness. But yeah, no, he deserves a title fight. If that is not an option, then the only guy that's kind of even semi-logical would be a rematch with Jan. But I mean, that's a bit...
Or the winner of Yuri versus Rakic. Yeah. But
give the man a title shot.
Yeah, it needs to happen.
Especially after that kind of win.
From what he was saying in the press conference after the fight as well, did you watch that?
No.
So he pretty much said, Glover, don't even bother teaching your boy wrestling, because I'm going to go in there and strike with him. Which I think is pretty naive.
Pretty naive. Maybe mind games.
Maybe mind games, yep. But I mean, if you're a fighter that says that and then you go in there and you start sniffing crotches straight away, you're not going to have much respect from one, the fans, and 2, your fellow fighters.
Correct. But saying, like, what I want from him against Alex is, I want to see him wrestle Alex.
Yeah.
I want to see what happens. I want to see someone who's got really good wrestling against Alex, see if he can pin him, see if he can keep him down, see if he can actually like try to submit him or deal some mad damage on the ground, because no one's really been able to do that yet.
No, and everyone's given it a crack.
Yeah.
I mean, we even saw Izzy try to wrestle and submit Alex.
Exactly. But no one's been able to hold him. But this guy's a lot better at wrestling than the rest of them.
Yeah.
So that's what we all want to see. It's like, don't be a silly bugger and try and strike with this guy. I get your ego won't let you take him down or some shit. Win the fight, or try to win the fight. That's what we all want to see. And we want to see Felder. We want to see if Pereira can come out the other side, and if he really is as good as we think he is, Because if someone can keep him down, beat him up a little bit, is that going to be the end of Pereira? You never know. So that's what we want to find out.
Yeah.
Don't be a silly bugger, Ankalaev. I know you're listening. Yeah. Jimmy the Hat Miller.
The Hat.
Jimmy the Hat. It's a reference from an obscure show that I used to watch. Doesn't matter.
Jim fucking Miller.
Jim Miller.
As he wants to be known.
Yeah, Jim the fucker.
What a performance.
Oh, he looked great, man. He was so quick. 3 things that I wanted to point out: his speed, his Muay Thai, and his durability. All of those things were really impressive for someone who's 40 years old at the lightweight. At lightweight, and his grey hair looks pretty cool too. Looks pretty cool.
Yeah, Silver Fox.
Yeah, Silver Fox. This guy has been a bit of a journeyman throughout his whole career. Now he's really in the limelight because of his durability and his longevity in the sport. And all props to him. He's pretty fucking cool. I think we all look up to that guy.
Yeah, I mean, I was watching him speak in the post-fight press conference, and I was just grinning the whole time.
Yeah.
I admire that guy so much.
Same.
And for someone who's been around as long as he has, fighting professionally since 2005, in the UFC since 2008, has the most wins in the UFC, the most fights in the UFC.
Just keeps adding to it as well.
Yeah, it's incredible. And for him to sit there and do interviews, he doesn't sound punch drunk. He doesn't sound like a guy who's gonna retire and have some problems with his brain.
Yeah. He's still got his wits about him.
Definitely. And it's he said it does come down to luck and genetics, but at the end of the day, I'd say there's a lot of hard work that goes into that, a lot of forward planning, and a lot of just taking the right fights and not pushing yourself too much, because that's what we see so many times is people who turn around and continuously fight again and again and again and again, like 4 or 5 times a year. These are the guys who do end up having real problems with their chin. They don't prepare properly, and they don't take the time after the fights to wind down and spend time being a human for a little bit, opposed to just being a fighter.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean. He's obviously very smart, and he's had very good strategic plans in his career.
And he's built a great team around him.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what anyone needs in order to be successful. So
yeah, the post-fight speech that you were saying, it was very cool. The press conference, sorry. It was cool seeing him and Felder have a little bit of a back and forth at the press conference as well.
There's so much respect there.
Yeah, oh yeah, hell yeah. They're both 2 absolute warriors.
Yeah.
That's the one that I want to see for sure.
Oh, at the end of the day, those 2 locked in a cage, you just know it's going to be violence.
Absolutely.
And
mad,
there's going to be some moments when they look across the cage at each other and faces covered in blood, and they'll be laughing. It will just be such a fun fight to watch, man.
Yeah. Felder, when he was talking about it as well, he was very you could tell he wants to do it.
Oh, he wants it so bad.
He wants it hard.
And fair enough too, because he's been toying with a return for so long now.
Yeah, yeah. I
I
think he's in the pool. Oh well.
Oh no,
it's not even a thing anymore. But
well, yeah, he went back in the pool before they
shows
dipped.
intention.
That shows intention, but I think he has done that a couple of times.
Yeah.
He's still obviously very involved in the sport, being a big part of the commentary team. He's in shape. He's training. He's doing triathlon. Yeah,
he could walk right back into a fight right now. I'm sure. I'm sure he trains at least a little bit, and if he just trained for a full camp, got the durability, he's got the skills, he's got the warrior spirit. If he wants to do it, let's fucking get it done at 300.
And I love the way that Jim Miller was approaching this whole UFC 300 thing. He's like, look, I want to go in there and I want to have a fun fight. I want to have a fight people remember. He's talking about maybe even if Felder doesn't take this fight, moving up to 170 and facing Matt Brown.
Yeah, that would be
the guy with
the
most
fight.
Knockouts in, is it?
In welterweight, I think.
Yeah. That would be an incredible matchup too. I mean, we've never seen. Have we ever seen Jim Miller at welterweight?
I'd say so. I think so. Probably.
Yeah?
Maybe. I don't know. I'd say probably.
Okay.
Maybe. That's a tough fight,
Okay.
man.
Well,
Go in there with Jim, with Matt Brown. He's a knockout artist. He's a lot bigger than Jim. So that's a tough fight.
Jim Miller.
They were talking about a catchweight, maybe. I think that was Felder and him were talking about a catchweight 165. We all know Dana doesn't love catchweights. That's why we don't see them that often. But
UFC 300, 2 guys who are obviously not making roads to any belt.
And that's what we want to see on 300, right?
OMF.
Interesting
OMF
fights.
belt.
Oldest motherfucker.
Yeah. That could be something.
That could be.
Or just old motherfucker, because one
Old
of them's going to
motherfucker.
be older, and then.
Yeah. I suppose then they just win.
Yeah.
Yeah, old motherfucker. So yeah, there's a lot of options out there.
You
for
have to
Miller.
bring your birth certificate to the weigh-ins.
And then they just hold them up. They reveal them. Fucking hell. Please don't give Jim Miller to Tony Ferguson.
Oh yeah.
Please don't do that. People have been talking about that online. Don't. Just don't. Why? What? Tell me why. Why are you even thinking about that? You disgusting fuck. It's horrible. I hate it. I do not want to see that ever. Jim Miller.
The one person out there who's like been making the Tony versus Jim Miller tweets, watching this, like, oh, okay.
Honestly, screw that guy. I don't like you at all. And I like most people.
Who's been saying that?
I just saw comments on some posts. It was like, oh, yes, perfect fight. Tony Ferguson versus Jim Miller.
You need to write down their handles next time
And
so
I'll
we
call them
can
out.
call them out.
Maybe that's something
publicly.
we could do as a
Publicly name and
channel.
shame them.
Name and shame, like casuals police. And we could even just reply to comments and have arguments with people in Instagram comment sections.
Yeah, that'd be pretty.
Maybe not.
No, let's get, let's start to
Let's get aggressive.
talk down,
Talk down on these fucking idiots. That guy who said that, you really ruined my day.
Wherever you are, I hope you don't feel safe.
I hope you feel horrible. No, I hope you're all right. But you're an idiot. Like, Tony Ferguson does not need to fight anymore, let alone Jim Miller. Like, Tony Ferguson should not be fighting.
What do you see happening in that
at all.
matchup? You see Jim Miller.
He would knock the fuck out of him. He would beat Paddy Pimblett.
Yeah?
Jim Miller versus Paddy Pimblett at 300. Now that would be a fucking good one.
I just want to see him fight a fun fight. Paddy's not going to give him a fun fight.
I suppose. Well, Paddy's a fun fighter. He's got
I'm
a
not saying
chin
that.
right
I'm
up
just
in the air.
saying, like, yeah, he does have his chin way up in the air.
If we saw Jim knock the fuck out of Paddy, that would be very, very cool to see.
I'd let him retire after that and everything.
Yeah, I'd let him retire. I'd tell him he could retire. Honestly, that's what I want to see. Jim Miller, Paddy Pimblett on the prelims of UFC 300. Either that or Felder. Honestly, though, Paddy, for some reason that fight just like clicks with me. I just have this hard on.
He does.
Yeah, just
Can
the mention
confirm.
of it. So yeah, that's what I'm going to personally say about him and his potential fights. Not anyone but Tony Ferguson, but ideally Paddy Pimblett or Paul Felder.
Mm-hmm.
And you're thinking Paul?
I'd love to see that Paul Felder fight. Just because I don't think Paul Felder realistically will just come back for anyone, No. It's like someone wanted him to come back and fight Shavkat.
Yeah.
He said in the post fight, and he's like, "What? Do you want me to fucking die?"
Yeah.
And fair enough too. He probably would die.
It wouldn't be good.
No, so
Shavkat's a fucking
yeah,
killer.
I think it lines up perfectly. They both obviously want it.
They're both on the older side.
They're both on the older side. They're both not making any real, like, they're not going to be fighting for the championship.
They're
ever
not title
again.
contenders.
No.
They don't really have title.
They're not going to break
ambition.
into the top 15.
No.
They're not going to mess up any of your up and coming people like Paddy Pimblett potentially. You feed Paddy Pimblett to Jim Miller and by I don't know, some sort of miracle Jim Miller beats him.
I think he would.
You think he would, but either way, Paddy loses to Jim Miller. What do you do with Paddy Pimblett after that?
Throw him away. Get rid of him like you should have done a long time ago. No, I'm just kidding. But
You hear what I'm
I don't know.
saying?
I just think it's fun. I think it's fun, and I think Paddy needs fun fights to try and win back the crowd. If Paddy can beat Jim, and he needs challenges. He's an up and coming guy. Like,
there's plenty of great challenges in that 10 to 15 realm of the lightweight division for Paddy to fight.
what that he can beat.
Whoa. Bobby Green, I can see him having some luck against Bobby Green.
Do you think he's more likely to beat Bobby Green or Jim Miller?
I think he's probably more likely to beat Jim Miller.
Then that's a good marketing point for the UFC. Because you're saying you don't want him to lose.
I'm not
Give him
saying I
Jim.
don't want Paddy to lose. I'm saying the UFC doesn't want Paddy to lose.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's what I'm saying. If you're the UFC, Don't want him to lose. It's a winnable fight. He's a big name at the moment. He's 300, big card. I don't know. Seems like a good opportunity to throw Paddy in the mix. Maybe
Yeah,
at lightweight.
I personally think we should give Jim Miller what Jim Miller wants.
Yeah, he can do what he wants. I'm not telling him what to do.
And I haven't heard him calling for Paddy Pimblett. And I just think the UFC was smart. They wouldn't line that up.
Just my genius mech.
Oh, obviously,
I see different things to others. I see brown when you might see black. Sounded a bit.
It did sound a bit sus.
I don't know what I was trying to say, but anyway, what should we do now? What should we talk about?
Right. Do you want to bring the card back up?
Card, eh?
We've got a few more fights to talk about on that.
Ricky Simone lost to Batista in what was a very interesting fight, which we called.
Just quickly, mate, before we completely move on from Gabriel Benitez. We haven't given him
we didn't talk about him at all, did we?
No, we didn't.
He didn't do much, though.
Well, he went in there and he traded some decent punches. But it's quite obvious that he's not ready to have a step up in competition.
No.
He's also another guy who's getting on, 35 years old, with, quite a few fights on his resume.
He can fight Paddy Pimblett.
He can fight Paddy Pimblett.
He can fight Tony Ferguson.
There you go. There you go, mate. We've got that sussed. Now you can, Ricky Simone versus Mario Batista. You called this one. Very good call. You called this exactly, I think. I did.
It was a banger. Very, very interesting fight. Ricky Simone had his moments, but it was a pretty obvious win for Batista. Very good striking.
What a brawl.
Yeah.
And Ricky Simone unfortunately gassing out a little bit in the third round, which really gave the opening for Mario Batista to show off his
early in the third, which was pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, but
after that it
was just an absolute clinic in striking from Batista. I
didn't know that Batista could have even lost that much weight after his stint in the WWE, all the movies that he's done.
Yeah, he's another guy who's older.
Yeah, he's 53.
No, so
former WWE
Mario
star.
Batista though, looking like quite a decent up and coming bantamweight. There was a good little string of bantamweight fights on the prelims there as well, which we've said it so many times. What a fucking deep division.
Man, yeah, crazy.
Batista fighting, I think, his first ranked opponent in Ricky Simone. So we will see him.
He'll be top 13. He will be sitting.
Yep.
So
very exciting.
I think we jump him up to maybe that 5 to maybe top 10, top 5 to 10, 7 to.
Are you saying who he fights next?
Rob Font he called out Rob Font.
He called out Rob Font. Okay, cool. Yeah, I see him probably being ranked either 13th or 14th. I don't know if the people will put him above Umar, just because of what he's been doing.
But Ricky Simone is ranked 13.
He is.
So usually they replace
We'll see what happens.
We'll have to see what happens. Obviously Umar's fighting soon as well. A lot of intrigue around that one. But I think for him fighting Rob Font's not booked. I think it was the perfect call out.
It was
for him.
He obviously gave it some thought. And I love when people do that. We saw a fighter on the undercard. Bisping gave him the perfect opportunity to say, who he wanted, and anyone
was
can
good
get
last night. Yesterday.
He was. But I hate when a fighter gets on the mic afterwards and goes, "Oh yeah, I'll fight anyone who they put in front." Like, I don't want to hear that.
No.
Tell me who you want to fight. Tell me whose face you want to mash up.
Sell the fight. Give me something to think about.
Yeah.
Like him saying Rob Font, it's like, yeah, okay, cool.
And
now
then
I'm
also,
thinking about what could happen.
It makes it so much easier for me to sit here on a Monday and go
matchmake.
Yeah, matchmake, because I don't want to have to.
We send our opinions straight to Dana. Like, we've got a direct feed.
He hasn't replied yet.
No, and he also hasn't given us 50 grand. Like, or what? How much did he give to the Nelk boys?
What for?
He gave the Nelk boys like 50 grand or 500k for
For
their
what?
birthday. For one of their birthdays. It's kind of fucking annoying because he can't pay his fighters and he pays the Nelk boys who already make like millions and millions of dollars. He gave them money. Dickhead. No, I'm just kidding, Dana. I love you. Reply to our texts.
But don't talk shit about us in texts.
Yeah.
Which we'll talk about soon.
We will. That was a good little one there. You just did. You smart man. So, can we both agree?
No. Wait, what on?
Rob Font.
Oh yeah, Rob Font. Yeah, that's a perfect matchup. And I mean, I have a slight idea that Rob Font might be to the end of his tenure.
I think he's falling off a little bit.
Slightly. Well, I mean, we see him ranked 9th there. He's coming off 2 losses, is he not? He lost to Corey Sandhagen and more recently Figgy.
Correct.
He's lost so I think a guy who's just come into the top 15, I don't know if he would take that fight, but I could be wrong. You know, you could see it announced next week. And I would love to see it happen. But I'm just thinking, Rob Font, take that.
Yeah, I'm sure he's looking to get back in there and prove that he's still got it. After 2 losses, though, you know, it makes sense that he fights down. So, you know, it seems like the perfect matchup. Hopefully he's keen. If not, you know, maybe someone like Dominic Cruz if he wants to fight, Pedro Munoz.
Or Ricky Simon.
Ricky Simon.
Simone. We should probably start saying that correctly.
Ricky Simone.
Ricky Simone.
Ricky's got to fight down now. Chris Gutierrez. I think he already fought Chris Gutierrez.
Ricky Simone.
Who's he going to fight next, eh? Oh, they didn't even type.
Still
Cool
not
name.
typing, mate.
Oh, for fuck's sake, yeah. What the fuck? Simonry.
I just got a little sneak peek into Kobe's
My search history.
Yeah.
Pretty good, eh?
So right.
So he's now he fought Rob Font. He hasn't fought Chris Gutierrez, and I think that would be a good next fight for him on a undercard or a prelims, maybe on a fight night.
Yep.
I think that's a pretty obvious one.
He hasn't been very active lately either. That's something to note.
No, he hasn't.
So I mean, 1 fight last year, which was a loss against Yadong Song.
Yadong Song.
Song Yadong, as you guys might know him as, but not me. Yeah, I think fighting down is the best idea. Chris Gutierrez might be a great matchup.
So.
Maybe even further down.
Yeah.
Maybe
outside
someone
the top 15.
who's outside of the top 15.
An up and comer.
And give him a little boost back into that realm of ranked fighters. Shall we move on?
Let's move on. Phil Hawes. He lost to Waldo Cortez Acosta.
No, he didn't.
Mario
he lost
Batista's
to
brother. Oh, wait, shit, sorry. Bruno Ferreira, who looked like a beast out there.
Yeah.
World beater. I really wanted that KO to happen in round 2, because that's what I predicted.
Yeah, I had him down for a first round submission.
You did.
So a first round KO, I'll take it.
Heavy-handed, man. And he doesn't, like the commentary was saying, he's not that big in stature. He doesn't look huge.
No.
Yet he is.
He puts it all together.
Big-handed. He does. He absolutely dominated Phil Hawes. He played with his food, and then he got the finish right at the end of round 1. Phil Hawes going completely to sleep.
Yeah, that was a scary looking knockout.
Average. Yeah, it was. So Phil Hawes, unlucky, mate.
Yeah.
But for Bruno Ferreira, he's got to fight someone.
He does. You're right.
So in that middleweight division, I want to pop him into a top 15 fight, you know?
I like that. I like that a lot.
Chris Curtis is booked.
Yes, because I was going to say that. Paul Craig?
Paul Craig could be good, coming off a pretty devastating loss to Brendan Allen. But Paul Craig, that could be an interesting fight, for sure. I think that's a very good call-out, actually. Great jiu-jitsu, obviously, but, you know, we anyone too good at middleweight, or winning against anyone too good.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's a pretty perfect fight. He's not booked.
And Paul Craig, another smaller guy.
Mini man.
For the middleweight division.
He is.
So that might just be a nice little matchup for Ferreira to kind of boost his stock and really cement himself into the rankings. Anyone else there that you like? Maybe is Jack Hermanson booked?
I don't think Jack Hermanson's booked. I don't think he's fought in a very long time, actually.
You can really put him up against anyone and it's going to be a good test.
Yeah, he's a pretty good gatekeeper when it comes to the top 10.
Yeah.
He is booked though against Joe Pyfer, so unfortunately, yeah, he is booked, so it can't be him. I'm thinking that Imamov maybe that could be a good test. I'm thinking Paul Craig's a pretty damn good suggestion there, Jackson, and that's who he's going to fight next later this year.
Book it, Dana.
Book it, Dana. Get it done. Sean Shelby, call it.
That's why we do these and release them on a Tuesday, because we know that they're going into the war room on a Tuesday and they've got to book something and they've got to watch some guys, tell them who to book.
So they're watching us. We know this. It's a guess, but I'm pretty sure we're pretty confident. So
how many more times do you reckon we can mention that? I think that's number 3.
It'll be a running thing until Dana actually replies to us. Daddy Dana, please help me. I'm a sick child.
Please, sir, may I have some more?
Sir, may I have some money?
Right. Yeah. Okay.
The next fight down, the last.
Phil Hawes.
Oh yeah, Phil Hawes. He's got to go, blood.
You reckon?
Yeah. Well, his chin is suspect.
Can you bring his record up? Like his on Sherdog?
Philium. So Philium Hawes, he is no hype. No hype.
He's right about that.
3 KOs in a row.
Oh,
that's
goodness.
Not good. And then another KO by Chris Curtis.
3 first round KOs in a row.
I think he's got to start reconsidering some things. I'm going to be completely honest about it. I think that Phil Hawes has to have a long, hard think about if he's still got it and if he still wants to do it. That's just me personally, and it's on him to make that decision. But
you're right. I mean, and the other thing too, it does look like he's fought once a year for the last 3 years.
Correct, yeah.
And they've all been KO losses. Is he just showing up for a paycheck? Hello?
Quite possibly. And that's never a good thing, if he, like you say, and he's getting KO'd pretty viciously, which means he will have to take a bunch of time off now again. So it's like, I don't know.
One, it's not
tough.
good.
He's 35 as well.
Yeah, it's not good for whatever career you may have left. And 2, it's not good for whatever you're going to have to be doing after your career.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think he's got to reconsider. He's a skilled guy, but it's the chin doesn't hold up, and if the chin doesn't hold up, it's oftentimes time to reconsider some stuff.
Oh, definitely.
Go on, Philium.
Yeah. I think that's a fair shout.
It is.
This next one we already did kind of talk about a little bit at the start there.
Yeah, we did. We mentioned it. Arlovsky. This was a shit fight. This was a shit fight.
It wasn't the greatest. I mean, for Waldo,
Aria's brother,
he really needed to go in there and make a statement.
He should have done. That's the platform he was given.
Yeah. And he failed
miserably.
He went in there and he swung for the hills, but just couldn't seem to find the mark. And then kind of backed out of that game plan a little bit and then just kind of pointed his way to a victory. But even then, he looked like a dickhead doing it.
Yeah. He was acting like a complete prick to Arlovsky, who's a legend of the sport, which is, that's just not cool.
It's like if I were to walk into a retirement home tomorrow, right? And then just start piecing up some old man and be like looking around the retirement home and being like, come on, guys, get into it.
Yeah.
Get into it.
Yeah, exactly.
What?
It's like, bro, you've been given a really good opportunity to springboard your career off someone who's, not at the top of his game anymore, but Obviously. He's still got a name. You could have got the KO and, really done something with this, but, you acted like a dick. You went to decision. It was actually kind of relatively even. Like, he obviously won, but it wasn't like he ran away with it.
No.
Arlovsky was in the fight and he had nothing. So it's not a good sign, man. Yeah. This is one of those ones where Dana might cut someone after winning.
You reckon?
Nah, it's not going to happen, but it wouldn't make me upset if he did, because that just,
I'd like to see Dana's leaked text messages after this fight.
Yeah, same. Love to see that. Pretty good.
I'm all done on that.
Same. But yeah, I don't even want to say who I want these guys to fight next. Arlovsky, retire, or fight someone who go to the retirement village and fight someone there.
Like what I was just saying.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Do that.
I'll be there.
One of those
I'm on the
out.
undercard.
Yeah, you can be on the undercard against another guy, a woman from an old lady.
Okay.
So there was a thing. There was a thing that happened today leaked in the news. So the UFC are currently going through a lawsuit. For those who didn't know, it's an antitrust lawsuit, just basically for some dodgy stuff that people pointed out, where when it comes to maybe them not disclosing how much they're paying certain fighters, how much they're taking in, this kind of stuff. I'm probably not the best to explain it. I'm not a lawyer.
I'm definitely not the best to explain it because you had to explain it to me before this. So
it's good. Have a look at it. Look it up. I'm sure there's a lot of good breakdowns on the internet. I might, it's a bit of drama.
At the end of the day, in my opinion, it comes back to this whole fighter pay problem.
Exactly, that's where it stems from.
So, and it obviously is a problem. People pussyfoot around the whole subject and try and pretend like they're doing the best by their fighters, and that when it's obviously not. I mean, Brooklyn Wren stepping in there in the ring yesterday a few times is getting paid more than half the guys on the prelims.
Yeah.
Although she's just absolutely stunning, and I would be paying her more as well. But what I'm saying is, like,
she should fight.
It's not right, is it?
No, it doesn't make sense.
When you've got the sex appeal for the UFC getting paid more than the actual fighters in the UFC, it's not right. And people say, these guys are given a chance to build a platform, to eventually make it to a top. And sure enough, there are some cases of that.
It is an opportunity for sure, but that doesn't mean you'd pay these guys fuck all.
It's 5%. That's 5% of the fighters on the roster. I'm going to say somewhere around that. It's not a very high percentage of fighters who are getting paid a decent amount of money. And then we see someone like Francis run off and make squillions in boxing.
Billions.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's something amiss.
No, it is silly, and that's why this lawsuit is going on. A lot of documents have been released, a lot of disclosed pays that fighters have got over the years, so that was very interesting. But there's also been some messages and communications leaked between the likes of Dana White and Lorenzo Fertitta, the ex-owner of the UFC. And one specific text message regarding a certain Jon Jones was leaked. Let me just pull that up. A article on MMAfighting.com. If you want to read it, it's going to be on the screen now. We'll also be discussing it while it's on the screen. I'll give you like a minute to read it. So basically, Jon Jones was so this was around where is it? The UFC wanted to book a rematch between Jones and Gustafsson in 2014. That was after Gustafsson had basically almost beat Jon Jones. And there was a hold-up, according to Dana White. It was Jon Jones wanted to fight Cormier next instead of Gustafsson. Negotiations on contract extension had snagged on that detail. Jones wouldn't sign it. And then there was a couple of text messages, which I'm going to remove that from the screen now. You can look it up if you do want to read it. Which went a little bit like this. Do you want to play Jones?
You want to click back into the screen just because I think. But yeah, I will play Jones.
You'll play Jones? What's up with Jones? Did he straighten up, or is he still being a scumbag? White texted the UFC chairman, Fertitta.
See, Jones doesn't actually play a part in this.
He does. So you can be Fertitta.
No, I can be Jones.
Okay, all right, I'll be both then.
I can't really read it from here. And you're a bit
so
close.
that was Dana White, and then Fertitta came back, still a douche, but we're inching closer. Haven't moved on money, but sent the letter with an ultimatum. That was Fertitta, and then Dana comes back saying, "Awesome, fuck that punk, Lorenzo. He needs to know we don't need him, or he will fuck us over more than he already does." That was back in 2014, after Jon had beaten Gustafsson, so a very long time ago. These are private text messages, by the way, between Dana and Lorenzo, so that's a bit of a moral thing, Sometimes you text people like that.
Look, when you're the head of an organization like that, I don't think there's any excuse to be talking about people, your employees like that, no matter who you're talking to. And I mean, it's easy for me to say. I work for an ink company, and I obviously don't employ anyone, and I never have.
You got to treat your
But
employees with respect.
You do.
I know it's different in this situation. It's very high stakes, but you've got to treat your employees with the respect that they deserve, especially after they bring so much attention and money to the sport, like Jon. You know,
Yep.
fuck that punk. He needs to know we don't need him. You kind of do, man. He was one of your biggest stars at that point, and he still is to this day. He was bringing in the highest pay-per-views at that point, I believe, apart from maybe
McGregor.
No, this is before McGregor blew up.
This was right as McGregor was blowing up.
This was like just as he was getting into the UFC. So like, yeah, he was one of your biggest stars. You kind of do need him, man. Respect your fucking employees.
I don't know. Yeah, it's he's gonna come out and say, well, that was a text message between myself and someone else. It was meant to be private, whatever. It's now not. So deal with that because it's now not private. Being the head of a massive organization like that, who's now in some, legal problems, you're going to have stuff like that come out of the works, and you just don't want to put yourself in a position where this can happen.
Exactly.
And he has
as a
put himself in this position, which I'm sure is a very awkward thing now between him and Jones, who
that would be interesting.
Who has obviously matured a lot as a man and as a fighter in the last 10 years. I mean, we'll see whether or not
he fucks up again.
That statement from me ages well.
Yeah.
But so far, so good.
So far, well, in the last year since he did that whole beating his wife thing. It's interesting, man. I just think he's acting a bit of a dickhead here because I just don't think you should be you should be talking when you're in that position. You shouldn't be talking about your employees like that.
No,
I just don't think it's very, very professional.
No, I agree.
But it is what it is. What are your thoughts?
I gave my thoughts. Yeah.
What are your thoughts on this lovely drink that
was very nice,
today?
mate?
Good.
Kobe made that for me.
I did.
I think we already mentioned that, but yeah,
Here's
something
the
a bit different, like we said, from what we normally do.
It is.
But
it was very good. You know what? I'll let you take the board here. Are we missing one from here? What did we have last week?
We had some Blue Boss coffee, which is sitting there in second place. It's very different, isn't it? It's different to what we have. We haven't reviewed. Oh, we have. We've reviewed 2 teas. And it was different to both of them, obviously, because this has lemonade in it. So it's kind of a bit of a mix between
an interesting one
between all of the stuff that we've.
I know where I want to put it.
Are you going to put it above Iron Brew?
No, I was actually just going to put it here.
Okay.
I would be either here or here. I would be.
Yeah, actually, I'm going to go below Iron Brew as well. I was just thinking about it, and the hint started to hit my tongue again from the Iron Brew a few months ago now, and it is a good little drip. So
it is very nice. Taste-wise, I'd say Iron Brew, but this is sugar-free and much more healthy.
This is probably the healthiest drink we've reviewed. Maybe Wang Lao. I'm only saying that because of how shit it tastes.
Can we have a look and see what the Wang Lao's got 27 grams of sugar in it.
Okay, I take that back. How does that smell now after sitting there?
Smells like nothing. Fuck this shit. Terrible. Never drink it. Stop selling it. So we're going to put it in at number 4, which I think is a very respectful rating for a homemade beverage.
Yeah.
Like I say, guys, sugar-free.
Give it a go.
Yeah, give this a go. If you are one of those people who's maybe, got a bit of a New Year's resolution going on, looking to lose a bit of weight, stop drinking sugar, or just trying to up your energy levels.
It's a good place to start because it's a very easy thing to do. Is just open a can of Coke or pop down to the, with your lunch, getting a can of drink, even a bottle of drink. Some people,
Some people are bottlers.
Some people that we know quite well are saying that having a high sugar diet is actually good for you.
We do know someone who's saying that.
So there might be a little bit of sense in that, probably not, but either way, we'll say that
definitely
just to
depends
keep them
on
happy.
the type of sugar that you consume. Don't be going around consuming like a tub of ice cream every day, like Sam Sulek. That's silly.
My bad.
But yeah, Just give it a go. See if you like it. Like I was saying, if you're trying to drink less sugar, it's a good way to have a carbonated sweet beverage that might, make you feel a bit better. But that is the end of the show this week. We've got 10 seconds until it's an hour. Let's quickly wrap it up and have it exactly on an hour.
Nah.
Oh, wait, it won't, will it? Because we've got to add stuff in.
Yeah. We've cocked that up well and truly. Either way, what I want to say is come back on Saturday because we have a massive event to break down for this weekend. I'm so excited. I cannot wait. Only
his favorite fighter.
5 more sleeps? 6 more sleeps.
6 more sleeps.
6 more sleeps,
6
guys.
more sleeps until Sean the bad boy, Deshaun Strickland comes out. Chris Curtis on the card. Whole bunch of real good fights. We always say whole bunch.
I'm gonna wear my t-shirt.
Yeah, he's gonna wear.
I'm gonna wear my t-shirt.
I might even wear mine.
Oh, I can't wait.
Can't wait.
I can't wait,
guys. This has been Combat Corner. You know where to find us if you've got a message to send us or any free stuff. Please like, comment, subscribe, share it around, tell your friends. We love you all, every single one of you. Have a wonderful day.
Now fuck off.
Get out of here. Sick of them.